Hey, welcome back. Welcome. It's Sunday Funday. So while Sarah Boone is back at the facility, dreaming of her financial payday from Brian, thinking that she pulled the wool over Judge Jackson's eyes, we are going to continue to pillage through her family law case and enjoy some digestible medical snacks. Make sure you leave what snacks you're bringing to Sunday Funday in the comments section. We can't let Sarah have all the sweets to herself. Sidebar, and I wanted you guys to know our map is almost filled with stars. Sarah would be so jealous. Let's get this party started.
My family law case is the new prey waiting to be picked apart and pillaged.
I guess I'll never get my fresh start from everything being made so impossible.
It simply seems I cannot forgive and be forgiven and move forward.
Does anyone know what Sarah means by that? Simply forgive and forget and move forward? Is she suggesting that we the people just totally forget what she did to George? And ignore what she's continuing to do to former husband and little man? Is that what she's suggesting? It's almost like she wants us to totally scrap everything she did and forget about it and start fresh. Especially in this family law case, that's what really had me worried. I was thinking, did Judge Jackson fall for Sarah's sad song? Shout out to Sub Rosa for this comment. Do you all notice how Sarah's tone of voice has changed, specifically in the family court trial recently? It's like she's several different people. Her voice in the body cam videos is different from her voice in the suitcase video, and different from her voice on the 911 call where she's talking about George stealing the bike she bought for him, and also when she's on the stand pretending to be a victim. And later, during her cross-examination, where she's playing dumb and doing her oppositional defiance disorder thing. Then, at the end, where she gave her scorched earth statement, she was so loud and proud about making sure she never gets out of prison. And here we are, probably the last installment of her awful voice. And her tone of voice is so shrill, it's like nails on a dang chalkboard, with a horrible, nasty disposition, like an injured and angry muskrat. I think the judge should have told her to chill out her tone of voice a good 50 notches. This is the way she talks to her son, and I don't think he should be subjected to any more of this demon and her horrible tone of voice.
The plethora of emotions that you corrupted. The plethora of emotions that you corrupted.
It's Sunday Funday. Tomorrow is Monday. We'll be back on Docket Watch. However, there's been some new developments. I have come to the conclusion that Judge Jackson, she's reviewing the criminal case. Sarah has a severe case of diabetes, and she's very convincing with her documentation. I think after the hearing, Judge Jackson had to go and pillage through the criminal case. Sarah presents as an excellent mother as she's singing this sad song. You can see the confusion on Judge Jackson's face several times through the trial. In all fairness, she doesn't know Brian or Sarah. We the people, we know the case from the tip of the tip because we've pillaged through it. But Judge Jackson, she doesn't know. And her best interest is little man. So I believe that she's went back to look through the criminal case just to see, kind of like for character, just to see what an excellent mother Sarah was. And there's lots of body cam footage. There's lots of evidence, letters, tons of letters. And there's the fact that Sarah actually had the chance to come home to her son several times. She didn't have to go through 9, 10 lawyers, and she didn't have to turn down a deal that would have essentially brought her home to her son when he was a young adult. The whole modification thing where Brian and Sarah had their own personal agreement for their monthly payments, I'm pretty sure that's pretty confusing. It's a lot for her to sort out. It's 5 years back of either gifts and presents or, hey, I was paying you for your alimony. She's serious as a heart attack when she said, on the pretrial statement, it says gifts. She's kind of like a scammer. She made a side deal with Brian to pick up her life, pack up her townhome and all of her heirlooms, and take care of her while she was fighting her highly mishandled case. And now she wants to scrap all of that and still have him pay, starting from zero. But one thing that Sarah said time and time through this whole family law hearing was, I should not be treated any differently because of my incarceration. I'm still a mother and I shouldn't be treated any differently. So she should still agree that she owes child support, right? If she wants to be treated the same way she would be treated if she was free, then she should be held accountable for child support, right? And that will offset, if anything. We've been trying to do the math in the comments section so that Brian can end up in the negative owing her, negative earned. So Judge Jackson, she has to take her time. I'll be dancing with the dogs if we get the final motion on Sarah's birthday. Either way, if we get it before her birthday, it's like an early birthday gift for her. To piggyback on the 9 or 10 attorneys, Judge Jackson, I'm pretty sure she's privy to that, and her ruling has to be clear-cut and concise. We know there are going to be letters coming for Judge Jackson after the ruling. There was a lot of stuff that Sarah let slide. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Your Honor. She was holding her tongue a lot. I think she learned from Judge Cranick. She's going to save the nastiness for the end. If the ruling isn't in her favor, we'll be getting a Dear Judge Hairbraider letter really soon. Let's head to court and watch Judge Jackson keep Sarah in her place.
I allowed him to what?
The majority of the time, I will tell you this, which you are unaware of because you
You're
do
not
not
telling anybody anything, ma'am. You're asking a specific question. Ask your question.
Yes, Your Honor. Do you understand the majority of him being, in quotes, upset is because you withhold him coming to see me? And he's had to wait over 9 months now that he has the opportunity to, and you continuously lie to him and me about, and the court, filling out the application.
Judge Jackson absolutely has to take her time. This former mother is bonkers. She's presenting as if she was a fairy tale mom. I really hope she's combing through the criminal case with a fine-tooth comb. And I wonder why Brian didn't go scorched earth on Sarah, like, you put our son in danger directly with your drinking, especially when she asked about, do you drink in front of our son? Because he's acting like me. The reason I'm here is because I'm drinking, or whatever she said. He could have said, well, you exposed our son several times to dangerous situations. They're all on body cam. I'm thinking she was violating the parental plan from the tip of the tip with every fiber of her being. I wonder why Brian didn't expose her for leaving little man at school and not picking him up, or even letting him play outside alone, as Melissa, the apartment manager, told us. Leave a comment below. Why do you think Brian didn't tell Judge Jackson in open court about Sarah's questionable behavior with little man prioristically?
The one the other is illegal. Okay. So I'm not allowed to leave it. You're not. Okay. Tell me about no. Okay. He's mad because I went out with my girlfriend. Okay. And she introduced me to another gentleman.
From Sarah's car to Sarah's scar. Sidebar, I think I suffer from Sarah Boone disorder. And watching her spin all these tales about George is triggering, and sometimes I just need to go and get a prescription of honey buns. We had a comment under a post, and I couldn't believe how many of you had not saw the famous tie moving to the side sleazily that Sarah had that moment. A lot of you didn't see that, and that's what inspired this South Park photo here. She sleazily slid James Owens's tie to the side as if they were on a personal level. I still wonder about those two. I think old Owens was crushing on Sarah. But let's head to court and do a little rewind to the famous steak and potato story as James Owens stands there like a proud dad. Now, Melissa, the apartment manager, already told us that Sarah drunkenly kneeled down on the knife or fell on it and she cut herself. But here in court, she's going to put on an elaborate story about George. She truly blamed him and thought it was his fault. Kind of like when you're talking to someone and you drop something and you say, "See what you made me do?" That's what she did. She hurt herself and blamed him.
This is a longer story, isn't it? Go ahead and tell me.
So, George stabbed me in my leg. I almost bled to death.
All right, well, let's go back and explain what led up to that.
I thought it would be nice to cook a nice steak dinner. We don't have two nickels to rub together, so I thought it would be special to make a steak dinner and baked potato and go above the normal whatever's left over in the refrigerator. And so I spent a lot of time doing that, and George was drinking the entire time, and on the back porch.
You were drinking as well, were you not?
I was drinking. He was on the back porch while I was in the house and I was cooking. And it was one of those where maybe if I start making dinner now, it will be over at a particular time and we can go to bed at a reasonable time. And I even put it in the bedroom and had a movie set up for us to watch. So it would just kind of be dinner in bed. And then he came upstairs and saw that I had made the steak dinner, and I don't know how to describe how drunk he was, but it definitely was not George. And had him come lay on the bed, sit on the bed, and, you know, put the, I got the dogs out, and
This next part doesn't even make sense. Little Sarah Homemaker wants us to believe that George just was in a fit of rage, but we've seen George drunk. He's really passive, and when she's drunk, she's aggressive. Listen to this part closely. Even Chelsea and Scott are confused down there in the corner. You see Chelsea? Look at her. She's looking at Sarah like, "What are you talking about? You never told us any of this. You only mentioned that he had bad teeth and it was a good day."
Presented him with the steak dinner and sat down and was getting ready to start playing the movie. And he starts being very rude and cursing the steak and finding fault with it. And then, you know, I'm having to encourage him to eat. You know, if you want me to cut it up for you, I will cut it up for you. Did you want some more sour cream for your potato? What can I do to make you happier? And then he started to pull on me and kept saying that, excuse me, that I just want to fuck you on the steak and fuck you on the potatoes. And I took offense to that, and I kept trying to encourage him to eat. I started to eat.
Was this just him really drunk and saying nonsense?
I don't know why he was so angry that day. I don't know if it's because I got steak. I don't know. Most of the time I don't know the reason why. I couldn't take it anymore. Obviously I was not going to be able to eat, so I started to crawl off of the bed to leave, just the bedroom. And he told me again that I'm not going anywhere, and he stabbed me in my leg, and it crunched. You could hear a noise that it made, and blood just started to come out of my leg just like a fountain. So I got off of the bed. He's starting to freak out, and grabbed me a towel. I got a wet towel, and I'm sitting here holding the towel, and it's increasingly becoming even more and more saturated by the minute. It's just minutes. So I'm going through towels and towels, and I said, George, I think I need to go to the hospital. This is not stopping to bleed. This is serious. And he got on his knees and begged me, please don't call the police. Please don't call the police. Please don't call the police. And inevitably, he went and got my car keys and put them around his neck again, and my cell phone. So I was not able to call anyone, and I wasn't able to leave in my car. So I figured I would just go downstairs, and I'm just going to go downstairs. And I had propped my foot up on the glass table that we had, and blood is just everywhere. Blood is everywhere. I can't keep up with the amount of blood, and I'm starting to feel very weak and really weird. And he comes downstairs, and he's still begging me, please don't call 911, please don't call 911. I kept telling him there's some, because he knew that he would probably...
This is why Judge Jackson has to go through this criminal case. She has to look at everything, you guys, because Sarah is very convincing. This story sounds believable if you don't know the backstory with Sarah. The jury wasn't privy to Melissa's statement about Sarah stabbing herself. My Sarah Boone disorder is kicking in. I get a little frazzled, but they could have believed this story. She was ultimately found guilty because of all the evidence, but they could have believed this story. Even Mr. J said, hey, it wasn't perfect. You know, there was mutual combat. They were both sloppy drunk and probably just all over the place. But Sarah was the aggressor.
Probably get arrested or something bad would happen to him. So I couldn't take him anymore. He was just all over me, and just, I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding very badly, and he's having me try to console him. And I kept telling him, please, I need to call 911, please. And I said, okay, just give me a moment. And I crawled upstairs to my son's bathroom, which is the furthest bathroom away from everything. And I remember holding onto the sink. And I looked into the mirror, and my lips were blue. And I knew I needed help. I needed help. And he came upstairs looking frantic for me, calling my name, and then I turned to him and I said, please, I'm going to die. I've lost a lot of blood. There's something wrong. My lips are blue. Please, we don't have to call an ambulance. If you could just take me, I'll drive whatever I can do, please, to go to the hospital for this. And he said that before anything happens, I had to concoct a story in order for him to not be arrested or be in trouble when we did inevitably get to the hospital.
Concoct the story. Does that sound familiar? Kind of like hide and seek, Sarah? Yeah. While reading the text messages, we saw that Sarah loved fictional books, and it's not far-fetched to say that she was living in her own little fairy tale. Meanwhile, George was living in a nightmare while she was making up all of these crazy stories. Sword fighting, hide and seek. I don't know what happened. He just came over here and he gave me a lump on my head when he really came for his ID and birth certificate that she lured him over with. I'm going to wipe the blood off my keyboard. Let's head back to court and listen to this.
So I'm sitting there with this blood-soaked towel with blue lips, trying to come up with a story of what I can tell them when I go down there so he's not in trouble, and telling him that it's okay. And I came up with the story of that we were sword fighting silly after drinking with our steak knives, and he accidentally punctured my leg. And from there...
How did you get to the hospital?
Originally, he told me to drive, and because of the amount of alcohol that he drank, and I couldn't. So he got into the driver's seat and drove me, and the entire time he's barking at me to make sure that I get the story straight. We're sword fighting, okay? We were drunk,
Did you go to
being
the
silly. Yes.
All right.
Remember Sub Rosa mentioned Sarah's tone change? Watch how she says yes when she answers this question.
Show you these? All right, is this a fair and accurate depiction of the injury to your leg?
Yes. I had to go to 2 different hospitals for it.
And you lied to medical personnel about how this happened?
Yes, they brought in sheriffs and everything.
Was it consistent with, they brought in sheriffs? Did you have to answer to the law enforcement officer?
Yes,
Did you stick with the story that you and George had agreed?
I did.
Judge, I'd like to offer this composite exhibit.
What was pre-marked as K will be received into evidence without objection as Defendant 6.
Sarah has a perpetual dunce cap on her head. This is her idea of a sad face. And that raccoon makeup on her eyes just makes her look evil.
And is this you at the hospital?
Yes.
Is this the stab wound to your leg?
Yes.
Is this a close-up of the stab wound?
Yes.
And was that, did you hurt your foot?
No, due to the injury, I had other problems with the surgery.
Okay. But you eventually recovered?
Eventually, yes.
Do you have a scar to that effect?
I do.
Judge, can you step down and show the room?
Okay, here we go. This is the part where demure Boone sleazily tries to open the door, look at her, while wearing her skirt backwards so the slit is in the front. Shows off her self-inflicted scar. Did they practice this moment? James is a little too hands-on for me here.
Looks like there's an image.
No, my Sarah Boone disorder is kicking in. Slow motion, let's back it up. Did you see? Look at that. I wonder if everyone else in the court picked up on that sleazy move. They can probably see it from here as she hikes up that skirt. I really hope Judge Jackson is privy to all of the prioristic behavior from Sarah so she can make a really, really informed decision. James is supposed to be a seasoned attorney. I can't believe the way he paraded that faux black eye photo on a big poster board around the courtroom. He looked ridiculous. That's why Mr. Cacciatore went and ruined his whole closing argument and just picked them up and showed the jury like, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to come and show you this, this, and this.
Yes.
All right. Looks like you got an injury to your lip and to your face. Do you recall this event?
I was trying to sleep, and
Have y'all been drinking?
I'm not sure. I know that he had been drinking. This was one of the instances where I would go upstairs to try to go to sleep. And
But y'all drank together a lot, did you not?
sometimes, yes.
But there were times where he wanted to stay up and continue to drink and you wanted to go to bed.
Many times, yes.
You were done, he was not.
Correct.
Was that one of these times?
Yes.
So tell us what happened.
I'm sleeping in the bed, sound asleep, and he comes into the room and grabs me by my hair a lot of the times and From here, he scratched me from trying to grab me, and then grabbed my hair and pulled me off of the bed, and then raked my face across the carpet. These are carpet burns.
To your lips?
Yes.
What about to the, looks like the eyebrow area?
That's from where he, from grabbing me, scratched me and got a hold of me by my hair. All the time.
Oh, I can't take it anymore. Yes, all the time. Who gets carpet burns on their lips? Demure Boone in her fairy tale, well, science fiction nightmares of a story. Let's head over to family court so we can watch Sarah present herself as a excellent mother in court to Judge Jackson, and in hopes that she sees through Sarah's manipulation and documentation. I mean, I know she has thousands of cases on her docket, but I really hope that she is pillaging through Sarah's criminal law case and all of her contradictions and lies, and show how she's bringing it to family law court. Okay, let's rewind right here. I want to get to the part where Sarah starts singing her sad song about being a parent. We're going to focus on Judge Jackson, her body language in particular. Let's get this party started.
The multiple children's rights he has violated in regard to developing an independent and meaningful relationship with each parent because of the petitioner. He is present during the parents' personal battles while I'm trying to speak to him on the phone. To speak ill will, he has called me murderer and killerer in front of my son, which is another reason why I wanted to have a guardian ad litem, which has been denied, I believe, 3 times. He doesn't include me in any way, shape, or form in regards to anything that has to do with my son's life. I know a lot about my son. I know what his favorite color is. I don't believe that he petitioner even knows that much. The name of his girlfriend, the things that they're going through. I am part of his daily life, and for him to take that away from me is just out of bitterness and spite. I want to be a part of my son's life. And people forget that I have a pending appeal. So to prove my innocence, which is what I've been doing since day one, the reason why I was incarcerated in Orange County for over 5 years, or at least 5 years, was because I continued to fight for my case. I know that the petitioner understands the reasons why of the enclosed 30% time sharing because of the danger and safety. There's a lot of things that I was trying to protect my son from. I'm not that parent because I was trying to make sure he was safe and in a safe place. The time sharing, it's, of course, it makes no sense to have the realization one is not what we're talking about now.
I love that part when she's just rambling on and forgets what she's saying. I call that particular part of the hearing Sarah's sad song. Make sure you're keeping your eye on Judge Jackson. She doesn't know either Brian or Sarah, and Sarah is selling a pretty convincing story. Brian, he isn't even sticking it to Sarah like he could. He could have said, hey, she put my son in danger plenty times. She's been in violation. Negative earned. Brian and his attorney did a great job presenting the facts. Nonetheless, they needed to get down and dirty with inmate Boone and present the true her, Drunky the Bear. Expose her for all of the time she actually violated the parenting plan by endangering the minor child. She left him alone, outside. Where's my water? She left him alone outside plenty times where Brian had to call just to make sure that she would remember to pick him up. The night that George passed away, the next day, little man was supposed to be there. Shout out to Pinky, aka AJ. She left a comment under our last episode. Sarah always called the police on Wednesdays. Interesting. And Wendy wrote, oh, good catch. I wonder if it had anything to do with her son. And since Sliced Bread, another top tier commenter, said, Wednesdays were Brian's days to have his son. Wednesday and Thursday. It was Sarah's first chance in the week to be vicious. And then another one of my people just broke it down and specified it was 3 out of 5, so frequently on Wednesdays, when he called her a bad name, when he was looking at women online, supposedly punched her in the neck, the debit cards, when he called her a bad mother. You can read it there in detail. But there was definitely a method to her madness, and while we all have PhDs in Booneology, I really hope that Judge Jackson is aware of this.
Also, courts require proper legal process and evidence, not unilateral actions to alter the parenting plan's time sharing term, regardless of where the parents are located.
All right, hold on just 1 minute.
SO2B 930 phone call.
Yes.
When I'm trying to do everything that I can to be in his life in every way, shape, and form that I possibly can, from having people
Have a estimated
and above all meaningful means love with the respondent. Ceaselessly and immeasurably will always have a wholeheartedly provide for her son, which is priceless, and no circumstance or agreement or modification in any lifetime can change or end. I'm hoping that the court can see my ceaseless attempt and whatever it is that I can do in order to stay in my son's life for longer than 30 minutes per week, please. I have a lot to offer and I can help him grow in multiple ways. And I am his mother, and I wish that I had the guardian ad litem or my son to be included in this, which, if I can also include, please, into evidence my
You know, this isn't a one-woman show, and you guys leave such great comments, and I try to translate them all during our episodes. One of you left a comment in the section saying that even if Brian was to give Sarah some money, if he had to award her some money, he would essentially be paying for her crime. I think that's why we're all so frazzled, because we can see straight through, and she doesn't really deserve that grace. Listening to this sad song, if you didn't know anything about Sarah, you may believe her. Keep your eye on Judge Jackson, especially with Brian not exposing Sarah like he really could have, like we all know he could have. You know, it's just up in the air. So I think it's Judge Jackson's, it's in her best interest to go ahead and pillage through the criminal case and some of those letters and documents.
You said number 17?
7.
7.
Yes, Your Honor.
Give us just a minute. We pulled the wrong one.
While Sarah tries to pull the wool over Judge Jackson's eyes and she gets her ducks in a row, we're going to head over to the criminal case and visit when Sarah had the Dr. Harper under her spell. Do you guys remember that when Dr. Harper was saying that Brian was actually, Sarah was parentified when it came to Brian, that she was actually the one that was responsible in the relationship? Well, let's go and revisit that really quick.
She did say something to me to the effect that, can you believe it? I got life. And I said, no.
Well, she was using substances based on what her brother was saying. And
yeah, do you know if she's ever had any issues with drugs in the past?
To my knowledge, she's never really been a drug person. She's big on alcohol, but I don't think she's ever done. I mean, I think she told me like one time, like back before we got divorced, that at I don't know, this bar thing over there across the street near the Walgreens, whatever it's called. Okay. I've never been there, but somebody gave her a little bit of cocaine like 2 years ago or something like that, but I've never known her to do drugs.
She bonded easily with Mr. Boone, and you can see that there are elements of that early difficulty with her relationships because she took on a parentified role, in my opinion, during that relationship. I think that led to some behaviors that she carried over into her relationship with Mr. Torres, in that she's parentified around him and acting more like a parent-child relationship. It is my opinion that she called for help, but when people got tired of her not leaving Mr. Torres, they stopped responding to those calls. And basically, Ms. Boone handled things on her own. And as other people with healthier boundaries probably would have left, she acting out the pattern of intimate partner violence did not leave. I do think that is a condition that is still existent even while she's in jail. It's something that she needs treatment for because those triggers are unmitigated, meaning that she hasn't really had the kind of therapy to address them and reduce her adrenaline and anxiety responses when she thinks of past instances of traumatic events that have happened to her.
Mr. J is going to demolish her whole testimony.
Make worse, sir.
Just watch this.
In pages 1 and 2 of your report, you go through the sources of your information, correct?
Yes.
And that would include 8 interviews that you had with her from the course of August of 2020 through September of 2024, correct?
There were 9 interviews, but 8 dates of service are listed.
You did the Miller Forensic Assessment of Symptoms Test, or MFAST.
That's right.
Inventory of Legal Knowledge, ILK.
That's right.
Clinician-administered PTSD Scale 5 examination.
Yes.
You consulted with her attorney.
Yes.
Videotaped interviews from this court case number of Sarah Boone, interview part 1 and 2, Abraham Moreno interview, Brandon Moats interview, Brian Boone interview, Juan Torres interview, and Melissa Sexton interview, correct?
Yes.
You reviewed the autopsy photos?
Yes.
You reviewed some of the digital forensic exhibits, including the Apple iPhone XS and a Samsung SMJ 327 T1 photographs from those 2 devices?
Yes.
You reviewed Bates stamped discovery pages 1 through 413.
That's correct.
The crime scene photos are photos of the scene taken on June 19th of 2020.
Yes.
Aspire Health records.
Yes.
And who do those pertain to?
Aspire Health records are for Sarah Boone.
Florida Hospital Medical.
Mr. J continues his masterclass showing that Dr. Harper doesn't really know Sarah. We know her more from reading the behavior notes behind the scenes and her tablet messages. Dr. Harper, James Owens, they all made fools of themselves right in open court for Sarah.
And any diagnosis or lack of diagnosis that they have had during the course of the last 58 months, you are unaware of because you did not review the records.
That's right.
I don't have any other questions.
Any redirect examination?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you.
One question. Dr. Harper, I didn't ask you to review those records, did I?
No.
I love that part. Okay, we're back to Judge Jackson getting her ducks in a row. Her charger has been sucked all of the energy from the room. Sarah is so consuming. We're back to Sarah's sad song and her pillaging through all of this case law. And Judge Jackson is going to have to figure out what's what and how many, who's telling the truth. Again, in all fairness, Judge Jackson doesn't know either party. I stumbled upon these old tablet messages where Sarah, she's been making her paper trail on Brian, itemizing and recording every time she asked him for anything. We're going to listen to her in one breath talk about how destitute and poor she is and needy, and in the next breath she's going to talk about how she's receiving gifts and money from her fans all around the world. If only Judge Jackson could see, Sarah was not only receiving money from former husband, Sarah had and still has plenty of support to pay for her own calls to her son or purchase her own medical snacks. To be fair, I'm pretty sure her losing Lana, she took a big financial hit. Let's rewind to the good old days when her and Lana were stealthy.
You're doing this pro bono? I mean, I don't think she has much.
No.
What are you getting?
Well, Sarah's got to pay me back one day.
Okay. Okay.
I've got a bunch of clients that are paying me.
Going forward, and now recorded in text, please set up a reminder to provide commissary funds every Wednesday, as you know and have for ongoing 4 years. I have explained the process of me ordering commissary numerous times in the past with waiting in line, etc. As of this message, I have not received funds from you to order. Please, at your earliest opportunity, do so I can do so. Thank you. Please set up reminder on your phone to avoid me asking every Wednesday. Also, I have been waiting to order thermals to stay warm with the weather turning cold. I have explained to you many times previously. The set I have is over 3 years old and I need new ones. You only put enough money in my account to make up the negative balance I have and order a few items to snack on when my blood sugar is low. I don't know why I have to do without because you do not want to provide the funds in order for me to purchase. I am cold, need, not want. Please provide enough money to actually be able to buy food, clothing, including very much needed underwear, and pen and paper. Please, again, it is unfair I have to do without because you tell me I don't deserve anything. It is not a matter of deserving or not, and you are not the one to delegate what I can or cannot purchase personally and also for my son. Find it in you somewhere to understand and provide what I need and keep having to ask you for. Not just $70 as explained to you also numerous times how much everything cost.
I'm just tired of it happening. I mean, it was midnight. I mean, child's trying to sleep and just...
A thermal top is $11 and the bottoms are $15. Underwear is $3.77 and I need 2. I'm explaining again in advance so I do not have to do so again asking for the right amount. Please.
Honestly, I don't always believe her when she said these things were going on.
Well, somebody sounds ungrateful and pretty entitled. Wow.
I don't know, she keeps on trying to come over to like hang out or something like that. Or
Before Brian even has a chance to think, blink, or respond, Sarah sent him another message. Brian, this is a project to send children gifts from incarcerated parents, and I was chosen to participate. The program's coordinator came and saw me today where I completed paperwork, including your name, phone, and email. Please answer your calls and check your email. She said the info was given to Bridget T. Davis. It actually says Bridget Davis, not Bridget T. Davis, from the Total Restoration Program. I suppose that's the program that Sarah is talking about.
Know that.
I don't.
Know that.
She said the info was given to Bridget Davis this afternoon, and they are beginning to contact starting tomorrow. This is not a scam and a legitimate company and cost you nothing. I requested slippers, size 12, and a friendship bear, and a friendship Care Bear. Do not dismiss my request when she contacts you. They are my request and from my resources. All you need to do is simply verify information. Please do not let me miss this. Sarah seems to have like a reoccurring theme of blaming others for her mishaps. There's like a saying that goes something like, lack of planning on your part doesn't constitute an emergency on my part, or something like that. If you've ever heard it, leave a comment below. Over and over and over and over and over, Please take 5 minutes to check on when you have available downtime so I know what to plan on and have been trying to repeatedly since the beginning of the month. Thank you. I do not want to call, so please respond. You are not in any way or have been since starting to use the tablet. Please respond. Uploading goes live January 1st, 2024. 5 days remaining. Have you sent any of the pictures? 15. I've been asking for, and you said you were going to do before you left on vacation. Pictures must be postmarked before January 1st, 2024. Please provide an update, especially after you told me I would have these and after I asked you 134 times now. Why are you waiting until the absolute last minute? Please update. Please respond.
He's hiding in the bathroom. I told you guys he was here.
Please send the pictures. You should have a list from all the other times I've requested verbally over 3 years now, and also in writing on the tablet. If I need it again, please let me know, and I can resend one of the many messages sent still asking. Uploading goes live January 1st, 2024. 5 days remaining. Whatever I need to do that haven't already over 100 times to receive these pictures, do tell so can. I hope you already sent. Please respond. Uploading goes live January 1st, 2024. 5 days remaining. Sarah is the definition of doesn't get a clue. Brian, where's my car? Let's go ahead and start this project regarding my car. And to see how cooperative and honest you are, new year, new start, right? I need to prepare for how I am going to approach this situation, depending on the outcome, and need to solidify prior. Please respond to my inquiry in writing, as I have attempted to do with everything I am still trying to figure out, resolve, and conclude with you for almost 4 years now. By not responding to me in any form, phone, or messages proves you are a lying, manipulative, disrespectful person. No, you are and have been since being married to you, and especially now that I am, quote unquote, behind bars and helpless. It's all recorded via phone call.
I'm just tired of it happening. I mean, it was midnight. I mean, child's trying to sleep and just...
Right. Okay. I've had to lie to you guys 3 times. And you shouldn't have to do that, so let's make this...
What are your thoughts as Sarah sits on her high horse, well, her top bunk in her prison cell, probably sipping her prison wine and looking down at others with the nerve to call someone else manipulative, disrespectful, and a liar? She's definitely dancing with the dogs. It's all recorded via phone calls, and your avoidance of replies in writing backs up my proven points of everything. Laugh all you want, as you always do. So, Brian, please provide an update at your earliest opportunity regarding the whereabouts of my car. I have 3 different people, including my brother, drive by your old house looking for it, as you stated, and have been for months, was still there. It is not. Before you moved to Gainesville, you stated to me, even quote unquote promised, you were going to take care of my car, being safe, and for me, quote unquote, not to worry about it. You also stated it is not your responsibility, but continuously told me, quote unquote, I'm working on it. You never gave me a straight answer, a straight, honest answer, but kept telling and reassuring me my car, my last ultimate resource, which I have explained to you numerous times, and how important it is to me, and especially that it is my only means to be able to see my son 150 miles away. you still have not provided me information where I am still wondering, needing to know. Please, and to date, your last response was still, I'm working on it.
Did make attempts, like defender, you have plea negotiations. So there were attempts to settle it. I was kind of like a mediator.
Not being penalized at all. She wants consideration over and above what everybody else has.
If I may please, what is over and above? What other pro se inmates, what is it that they've asked for? I don't see how they could successfully even represent themselves without internet and a regular working phone. And I'm pretty sure that they were not able to complete their case and the successful outcome that they were hoping for by being provided simply papers and pens.
Counselor, if you
I'm not sure if she's asking me a question. I don't know.
which contain the state's digital evidence and digital transcripts of the depositions of detectives Chelsea Kopsel and Scott Lowen. And he was to meet with you on Saturday at 9 o'clock. Did that meeting take place?
It did.
Okay, what was provided to you, if anything, at that meeting?
What he and I did?
What was provided to you? What was given to you by Investigator Lane?
The digital evidence we went over, and we're still reviewing the discovery, but I don't recall anything physically being handed to. Not concluded going through that. We have other meetings tentatively scheduled, which we will be concluding that also in order to meet the deadline for the objections of the 23rd of August.
How many of those 9 items were you able to review with Mr. Lane on Saturday?
Not more than one.
Okay. Were you able to access all of the 9 items on that USB drive?
For the brief moment that he and I were able to attempt to do so, yes, they seemed to work.
Okay, you did not have any issues opening up any of those files?
I personally myself did not open all of them.
Okay, all right. Okay.
It's on our to-do list.
Some of the things that she thinks are important from a lawyer perspective, perhaps I don't attach the same importance to, and you try to explain that to a client. You know, I know the court's in a difficult position, but at this point we're at that impasse of if she walks out of every conference that I have with her, I'm not sure what that says about the attorney-client relationship.
I do not want to call you for reasons stated previously. Thank you. One more thing. As I was trying to tell you, the officer is something sadistic. She has to sit at home and wonder what she can do to torment us. Her most recent is she will call your name, tell you to pack up, which is stripping your bed and taking everything out of your drawer and putting in your mattress cover, thinking you may be going home as it's the only time you're told to pack it up. Then she has you sit at the front table of the dorm and empty all of your drawer contents and bedding on the table, goes through it all, throwing some away, then leaves you there for 2 hours with everything you own just on the table in front of the dorm, on the floor. Yep, that's actually tame compared to other awful shenanigans and torture officers do. Jail, shaking my head, SMH, the things I will tell you. So yes, she hung up our call. And we have to turn the tablets in at 9. So I'm SOL. Out of luck. Tonight for the phones or writing others than this. I'll call tomorrow, hopefully after James. Pray I use this blessing right, please. So, love you. I'll let you know what the D's say too. Thank you for all you are to me and your son and husband and James and so many others. You are one of my greatest blessings, Lana. Always, always know that. Thank you forever and ever and ever. Heart. Now, Sarah also needs to reach out to Jalen to let her know what's going on. She's not feeling too good today, and she needs to let everyone know. The subject is, it's time. I don't even know what to say. We're on lockdown, so I can't use the phone. I was in a meeting in Corp FanFat, and Benjamin came in drilling me about a grievance I never got. They were very direct in asking questions I refused to answer, which made them even angrier. They gave me a citizen's complaint form and told me to fill out. I have to cover my ASS with everything else I've been dealing with OCCD, being pro se, and the court, and the laptop, and me even fighting for paper and pen. You have no idea what I've been dealing with after I reamed OCCD in the courtroom on live TV for all the difficulties they are imposing, not giving me access to top internet, a normal working phone, privacy in the classroom for an hour to just review my discovery. I just got after almost 5 years again, fighting with them to even provide pen and paper. The timing is really bad for this, as I am on their SHIT list, big time, with trying to represent myself and defend myself and save myself. This is even greater fuel to the OCCD fire you and I are trying to overcome. They are all over me. I still have that complaint form. What am I supposed to do with it? What is my complaint? I know there's so many, it needs 100 forms. You too. Then a Miss Wimberly called me from Inmate Affairs asking me about. I told her generalized as the officer was listening. Have to put tablet back. So basically, they are on top of Sarah because she's escalating calls. She has Lana on the outside. She has people calling, supervisors. So they are breathing down her throat. If she tries to make a complaint on the phone, they're standing right there. Like, she is uncomfortable. But Lana, this is all fun and games for Lana. She responds to the subject, one more thing, the sadistic officer, and she says, I hope you feel better. We gotta have you feeling great if my son and I are gonna meet you. Smile. Sarah is pleading from her terrible treatment, and Lana is like, cheer up, we're coming to see you. She's just happy to get out of the house. Now, Jalen responds to Sarah's message, subject, it's time, and she simply says, do I need to come back down there? Because she used to work at the prison, so she has been helping Sarah on the outside make complaints and escalate her grievances. Now, Sarah must be feeling a little better because she responds to Lana and she says, 1. You're such a beautiful person, Lana, inside and out. Your heart blinds me, it's so bright. Thank you for being my friend, heart. Thank you for helping me keep singing in jail. Soon enough, the gates will shake and I will exit soon. Thanks to you and my unbelievable blessing. It is a dream, Lana. Thank you for loving God so much. It makes me love you so much more on a whole other level. Thank you. I'm still waiting for James. It's almost 10:30 and we can't use the phone, so I can't call to check status. I'm just sitting here waiting for him. Is he coming today? He is coming, right? If you're able, can you please text and see where he is and what time he's coming? 3. Bridget Delin. Who is this, please? She put money on my account and bought me the coffee and soap package. I'd love to find out so I can send her a thank you card if you're able. So curious. Let me know if you can. 4. these. Wow, Pete is so different than Julian. He wrote me back, but the same way I wrote him, blunt and to the point. Thank you, Pete. I'm going to try and call him and will definitely write him back. He agrees this needs to get going and I should contact directly to save stress and added work. She was tired of texting. She wanted to make phone calls instead. He didn't mention you coming whenever they come down, and it won't be until everything is agreed upon and signed, so you might want to double check. I'll keep you posted. Sidebar, we know Sarah doesn't really want Lana to come down. It seems from her messages she's trying to ice her out of the interaction, although Lana is excited to meet her. He said you mentioned I am an animal lover? Yes, thank you. And was telling me about his entire animal rescue farm called Blue Barn Rescue with every kind of animal. Did he tell you about it? Also, they have a duck that was attacked by a coyote and refused to die even after being mangled. They named her Sarah. 5. What time is my court tomorrow, please? They are unreal. You are unreal. My dream team is unreal. Faith to sight. Love you. Enjoy your day.
All right, Ms. Boone, you may continue.
This was just me trying to be transparent with the petitioner's counsel and describing to them my need and want to be in my son's life.
I'm no body language expert. According to the behavior panel, when a person holds their mouth or pinches their lips together, they're subconsciously trying to stop themselves from saying something. Watch Judge Jackson as Sarah is explaining, and Judge Jackson finally blows up and lets her have it, which we'll probably be getting a letter about.
Just because I'm not there under the same roof to make the same decision, or at least I would like to be conferred with and included on so I know what's going on in the son's life. This is just me trying to know what is going on and to let them know what I'm striving for in order to come to some type of cooperation or collaboration. This was just me emphasizing to them that I very much would still like to be in my son's life. That is my letter originally in answer to their modification of this final judgment, which we are in the process of debating. For also the parenting plan, which is still active, the original from 2018, I believe, I wanted to bring to the court's attention that it's been violated by the petitioner. Again, from previously, now I believe it's a time where it says the parenting plan may be modified or verified on a temporary basis when both parents agree in writing.
All right, Ms. Boone, Ms. Boone, you have to agree that there's a lot that's not being followed with regard to that parenting plan, which includes even the time sharing that you're not able to do at this time.
Right.
You would agree with that, correct?
I understand that, but that is my only stipulation. That's my only part that
All right, you would also agree that that parenting plan was entered into back in 2018 prior to there being any criminal charges in your incarceration. Do you agree with that?
I do, Your Honor. But
okay, and you have to also agree that when the parenting plan was entered into, if I remember correctly, you all agreed to the parenting plan as part of your mediated settlement agreement back in 2018. And at that time, neither one of you were contemplating any type of criminal charges or incarceration. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, you may continue.
Woohoo! You know Sarah was fuming and upset about that checkmate. I wish Brian would have chimed in so many times during this hearing. Listen how she rips Brian apart for quote unquote not following the parenting plan. Meanwhile, she was not following the plan, not just time sharing, but everything. She was the danger. Nonetheless, since Brian isn't exposing her, Judge Jackson has to take both of what they're saying for face value and do her own research.
So I would like to bring in the part of the divorce certificate, which include each parent and everything they're supposed to abide by regarding being appropriate to the other parent, regardless of incarceration or not. That's what I was trying to say. I've been excluded this entire time, and everyone has blamed my incarceration on it, which it shouldn't be like that because I'm still the mother of my son regardless of where I am. And what petitioner has been saying and doing and not doing are unacceptable and to a certain extent unlawful, especially with the active parenting plan. It shouldn't be done anyway with trying to hinder my relationship with my son. There's no reason for him to do that. And again, in conclusion, the continuation of his responses, I don't care. That's what I've gotten since I've been here. So do I bring case law up right now, or is that something I could?
All right, if you'd like to bring up case law, you can.
Okay. So, or
Lisa says she really thought having that one record sent from a fan in Australia just in time for this final hearing, conveniently, would fool Judge Jackson. She made sure to force that onto the record multiple times. But no vaccines. Priorities right on track for her. She needs those frequent calls to be able to emotionally abuse him. One call a week loosens her mental grip on him. I keep former husband and his son in my prayers. I pray they both are getting the mental health support they need, and they both learn what a healthy, safe, and stable relationship is. And shout out to Gail Marie. Gail said she drug his name through the mud the entire time, lied about him to make herself look better. She is a sickening human.
or is that something? So, do I bring case law up right now, or is that something I could?
All right, if you'd like to bring up case law, you can.
Okay. So, I'm looking. Excuse me. Thank you for your patience. Children. Okay. In regards to children in the parenting plan, Hunter versus Hunter, the court ruled that incarceration in and of itself is insufficient to terminate or deny custodial rights unless continued contact is shown harmful or detrimental to the child.
All right, give me the case name again.
Hunter v. Hunter.
All right, do you have a case citation?
Yes, Your Honor.
The number, okay, give that to me.
540 S as in Sam, O, 2, D as in dog, 235, in parentheses, SLA, 3, D as in dog, DCA 1989 in parentheses.
189?
Yes, 1989.
All right, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Also for that case law, the courts have discretion to restrict visitation only to protect the child. The petitioner penalizes the respondent for her incarceration. Also, it reinforces that inability to communicate, not incarceration, is the key benchmark for limiting shared parenting. I have multiple ways of trying to communicate with my son. And I've been trying every single one and trying to share parenting as best as I possibly can while located here. In fact versus fact,
I'm sorry, were you done or are you looking for your next topic?
Forgive me. I'm reading another case law to you.
All right, I have the Hunter case. I've gotten that. Do you have another case?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right.
Please.
All right, hold on, give me just 1 minute.
Monday, Tuesday. She had 8 days to get it done. It shouldn't have taken all 8 days, right? And then to get it out postmarked. Because if you're serious about something, you don't wait till the last minute. Like, she maybe asked the Flying Monkeys to help her with more case law, but the case law is not in her favor. I can't find one case where an incarcerated person with a violent crime, a person incarcerated for a violent crime, gets alimony. So I think she gets it for those 2 years. For the time that Brian didn't file, she gets it on paper only. They do, that is her amount owing. And then she owes the $14,000 for attorney's fees. And then she owes whatever else is for child support. And so it actually ends up that she owes him money, but his attorney said we're willing to just call it even. So they're both at a zero.
Shout out to Tanika. That sounds good to me. That sounds like very good math. And we have a comment from, let's see, let me pull this up. Modern Meme Shop. Hey, I love Modern Meme Shop. Currentistically, this is a case study on how destructive a midlife crisis can be when you are an alcoholic manipulator on steroids in full denial. The worst of humanity. She thinks she is a damsel in distress. Is she trying to sick the police on his family for no reason? She did all of this to herself. And Modern Meme Shop is on the last episode, and she's speaking about the Torres family when Sarah was essentially trying to blame them for everything. Big shout out to JMac77. Happy Sunday Funday. JMac says, let's hope it's public like Attorney Martell's closing argument. I want her humiliation to be as public as possible. And JMac is speaking about the closing arguments. Holly Tooker 507 says, I doubt Judge Jackson has fallen for Sarah's line. She's too smart, and Sarah's too stupid. Rebecca Nickerson says, thank goodness for Brian being an honorable man and father. Have you ever seen the movie White Oleander? About a mother who unalives her boyfriend. The daughter is helpless and thrown into a group home / foster care, forced to visit narcissistic mother in jail. This is a movie. This movie is Sarah Boone. Sidebar, shout out to Sid Mountaineer. Hey Sid. Sid said that Sarah's not just a former mother, she's a former matronarch. Get it? Matronarch. I told you this isn't a one-woman show. Bing. This movie is Sarah Boone trying to control and manipulate Little Man. On another note, should someone check on Judge Jackson? Sarah and her 9 Manson family representatives who go to Brian's residence and harass might be doing stuff towards her also. I'm scared for the Boone Torres families. She's right about this. The prior attorneys and anyone connected to this case, including YouTube content creators. Stay safe. That was such a sweet message from Rebecca. No one is safe when inmate Boone is on the loose. Look at her up there. She finally got her boxes of heirlooms and she's put on all her faux jewelry and she's celebrating, counting down to her birthday. If you made it this far, you know I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.
And 11, what is the location of your emergency?
4748 France Court, apartment 3.
4748, what's the street name?
France, Frantz.
And the apartment number?
3.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
Okay, send the line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
Fire rescue. What's the location, Mercy?
That's 32.
No, please don't leave.
4748 France Lane, apartment 3.
France Court.
France Court.
Yes.
Okay, is this near Mackenzie Drive?
I don't know where that is.
Okay, fine, okay.
It's Gilwood Park Apartments.
Now, if you made it this far, don't forget to leave where you're watching from and what time it is. Big shout out to my replay crew. You know I just love you to pieces. Extra shout out to Sharon Touch. I know you made it this far, Sharon. See you next episode. Bye.